go upper and upper the ladder by making more number of leads. Think that our child is very innocent, and no, it has gone beyond the imagination. We need to transform them so that they become a real force to reckon with. So we need to teach them values. The values is first discipline.
Hi everyone, I'm your host Seema and I welcome you all to another insightful session on great principles. Today we are here post pandemic, the 2 years that transformed each one of us. The way we think, the way we believe, the way we act, our attitude, everything has changed. We understood something very essential for our life. We understood that there is something much more than mere earning and spending our life, and that is living our life. Living our life to fullest, living our life which is full of values, the values which are very, very important for us because they are the guiding principle in life for what decision do we take. They affect our attitudes, behavior, and how we look forward to our life. It is very essential for us to ensure that we imbibe these values in our children so they are ready for an unforeseeable future. Well, during pandemic, we all were worried. Some lost lives, some had lost their jobs. There was so much happening. We were worried about the education of our children. Even many of our were even just deciding how who defines these essential services. There was so much to talk about. So to understand more on values post pandemic and the future ahead, we have a very insightful guest with us today, Dr. Seldon Cosmos Fernandes. He is principal of Ravilla Vidyalaya, Tamil Nadu. We'll be discussing so much on this topic and we'll get to know more about Dr. Seldon. Who is he? What was his journey in education and what he looks forward in his vision? So please welcome Dr. Seldon. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Great Principles.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for the welcome. Thank you very much.
So, sir, before we discuss more on our most interesting topic of the day, values post pandemic, let us first know a little about you. What made you step into this noble profession and what keeps you going in here?
Yes, ma'am. It is actually from my young age itself. I was a teacher. You can say from I was doing my pre-degree. At that time, I started teaching private tuitions. So that only made me my side money for my education, etc. I didn't want to worry my parents a lot for my extra things. So that came like that. So this teaching was always with me, and my father was a teacher. He retired as a district educational officer. All my three sisters, they were teachers, and my two sister-in-laws, they were teachers. So we were a teaching community itself. So this journey took place, but unfortunately I took a different path in my life. I went in the path of sales. So for in sales, I was working for more than 15, 16 years in sales, and I was not happy. I felt that something is wrong somewhere, and nothing is clicking in my life, like anything. And I decided that I have to go back to my education itself. So I came back, and the last 18 years now I'm in education. Out of that, almost 10 years I'm working as principal. I proved myself as a good teacher. I got even appreciation from the Human Resource Development Ministry as a good head, and I've got a lot of several awards on teaching and administration. So this journey is something good, and it is touching me, and I am able to touch many people's heart every day, every minute, and I love and I enjoy teaching as well as being a principal and giving guidance for my teachers. So this is how my humble beginning started, and when I look backwards, I feel very content in my life, and I'm really happy that I chose this noble profession. Yes, ma'am.
Great journey, sir. So, what we learn from sir's journey is always follow your calling. Because if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you will never be happy. So, this is what sir's journey taught us today that to always go where your heart lies in. So, sir, now we start with a rapid fire round. You need to answer me in one word or a sentence.
Okay.
So here goes my first question to you. One change that happened within you post pandemic.
Technology, I became very much technology oriented.
What do you do when you're not working in your recreational time?
Reading, I love reading.
Okay. Who's your favorite author and any book that you would recommend for our viewers?
For reviews, normally I read articles on journals given by Dr. Ravindran. He's a renowned psychologist. I read a lot of theories from them. I read a lot of books, in fact, like books related to my studies. Like I love economics, so I go for economics. I try to read about that literature. So uh, I'm an all-round teacher in school. I teach when there is no teacher. I teach English. I teach economics. I teach history, geography, history,
Wow.
all these subjects I teach. So except I don't touch mathematics and science, but all other art subject I can manage more than 18 subjects. And also we have an academy called we are training teachers, and I'm a trainer there also. So I'm a master trainer also. I train teachers for becoming teachers. So I take different roles at different part of time. So books, earlier my hobby was reading story books like Robert Ludlum's, James Hardley Chase, Mills and Bones, all these stories, Max Brand. So all
Yeah.
these books I read. Then it came to academic. I went to a different cup of tea. Anything I get academically which can enlighten me, which can help me to give some tips for others. So I go like that. I try to read and understand that so that I can go with the world, and also I can be a leader to lead others and make leaders out of me. I should make leaders. I believe only you become go upper and upper the ladder by making more number of leaders. It's like a pyramid.
So, moving ahead to my next question, sir. We started our show talking about the transformation in our lives post pandemic. So, transformation has been everywhere, even at the workplace. What has been the biggest transformation at your workplace post pandemic, and any particular change that you brought in for your students and teachers?
Yeah, the most difficult situation where we faced is when the kids of 4 years and all came to us and said that they do not want to study in pre-KG, LKG. They want to go directly to UKG. And many students did not study for 2 years, and they came and they don't want to they want to go to that particular class only. So this was a challenge. So we took up all those cases, and we gave special coaching for them with special programs. And now I am content that we have been able to bring them at par with the others. So it's a big task actually.
Absolutely, sir. I myself found that thing in my kids also, because what studies children do during schools, definitely they were not able to do the same in online tutoring. So there were a lot of gaps in
Yes,
education,
yes,
which we also faced. And now, when they are in upper classes, we are actually struggling. Yes,
yes,
things have actually phased up, but still, they are still not able to cope up. It will take some time, but I'm
yes.
sure gradually things will happen. So, moving ahead to my next question, sir. What is the your elixir of the day? Tea or coffee?
I love team.
You are a tea lover. All
It's not
right.
that I don't drink coffee. I drink coffee occasionally, but
Okay. In your journey as an educator, what have been your biggest achievement?
ma'am, my biggest achievement in my old organization, where I was almost 6.5, 7 years principal, I was able to bring more than 25 of them as leaders who could run independently the school. That was my greatest achievement. I became a collaborative leader where
Okay.
I had enough and more leaders, and I had a beautiful system laid so that I did not have any trouble after that.
Absolutely. So, the biggest quality of the leader is to create more leaders. So, that is the wonderful achievement on your, and we really congratulate you
Thank
because
you.
when leaders believe in creating more leaders, then the change will happen. And this is we all need to practice. So this was a rapid fire round. Now we have reached to the last question of the show, which is called the expert talk question. So, sir, let us talk about now the values which we need to imbibe in our children so that they can survive this unforeseeable world. It is not only about the regular family values that we gain or from our surroundings. What COVID taught us was being resilient, compassionate, empathetic. So what are your thoughts on these?
Yes, of course, we are empathetic regarding post-COVID. So, see, many parents came to me complaining that the child is complaining that the teacher is harassing, saying that and this and all those things. But they were not trying to think about the part of the child. So, and they wanted to protect the child also, but again, I told them that I had to make them understand that this 2 years of gap has changed everything. It has changed the children also. Their understanding, they do not understand that they are doing mistake. It is not, they are innocent. We cannot say that they are doing, but it is our duty to bring up the child and make the child understand that certain things are to be right, they have to follow certain principles in life, whether it is a teacher also, whether it's a student, they have to follow certain, and it takes time. It is not, it is a very difficult task, because what we find, the problems in kids after this post pandemic, because of the explosion of technology, is unimaginable, because we think that our child is very innocent, and no, it has gone beyond the imagination, because I've been to a couple of psychology classes and course. They were just explaining these things which are post pandemic. So now it becomes the Herculean task of the principals, of the teachers, and the parents to join together to make them understand. There is no use of crying over spilt milk. What has happened has happened. Now we have to make them understand that evil and good both are there in life. We cannot run away from the evil, but we don't need to get attracted to the evil. We know, okay, this is evil, let it leave it that side. We don't need to look that side at all. So our values should be there to build a character which is refined, which is disciplined, so that we can live a true life in this society. The society is looking forward for citizens with real values, who can lead the coming world, because definitely India will be having a big saying in the coming world. And I'm really alarmed that we have having the most number of youths, and we need to transform them so that they become a real force to reckon with. So we need to teach them values. The values is first discipline, the simple discipline. There is nothing else, and then just understand what is good and bad. There is no use. And my teacher came to me, my psychologist came to me and told me, I want to teach the first standard children about private parts. What is your opinion? I said, no problem, just write a note to the parents saying that we are going to teach your child about private parts. Do you have any problem? Only one parent has sent back that they don't teach my child. Okay, because the children of 5 or 6, they are the children who are going to learn, and we are not going to teach anything bad. We are just going to tell them, caution them, and make them safeguard them for their future, which will always remain in their hearts. So there are resistance also, but again, to upbring the values, we need to sometimes take certain steps, which sometimes some people may think taboo, but I feel that it's high time that everybody sit together and understand that what is happening and what should be done. Otherwise, we will be going into a society where there will be no rules. We don't want that. As educators, we don't want that. We want the rule to continue. We want discipline. We want values. We want people to love us. We want to love people. We want to share. We want to care. We want to do everything.
Absolutely, so very well explained the importance of teaching values from both the end, from parents' end as well as school end. And I really love the point where you mentioned Now we all need to work collaboratively, parents, schools,
Yes,
teachers, educators,
exactly.
principals, everyone, along with the child, so as to make the child ready with values. Because without values, as Sir rightly said, our youth will not be a force which can develop the nation further. So this was Dr. Seldon sharing his thoughts with us. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and I'm sure today you learned the values which can transform lives. So thank you so much, sir, for your time with us. I really appreciate
Thank,
your time.
thank you, ma'am. Welcome.